Never trust a plumber who says these 10 things. I'm going to tell you 10 lies plumbers tell you to steal your money, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Guys, if you've been here before and you've already subscribed, hit the bell that notifies you every time we come out with a new video. And if you really like this video, give us a thumbs up when it's done. Number one, there are roots in your sewer line. Now, there may be. I'm not going to say every plumber will lie about that, but if they're running a sewer machine to clean out your blockage or whatever it is, ask them to see the roots. The roots are going to wrap around the snake, or ask them if they've ran a camera down it where they can show you that before they even run the sewer line. If it's not completely clogged, they may be able to run a camera down and see the roots. Or if it is completely clogged, ask them after they clean it out, before they run the machine just back and forth, ask them to run a camera down and let you see where the roots are and where they came in at. There should be a break or a pulled apart piece of pipe or something like that. So running a camera down can prove exactly where it is. But if they do that, tell them that you would like to see the video. Now, this is one thing that I'll tell you. Make sure they're showing you your sewer line. In other words, stand out there while they've got the camera going, or just tell them, look, I'd like to see the camera while you're pushing it down there. The reason being, and I hate to say this, but I learned this from a camera repair person. He said, Roger, we've actually had plumbers that bring in their cameras. They've got a flash drive in it full of roots where it shows just the worst roots ever in a sewer line. And they'll tell the homeowner, they'll stick it in and hit play and say, yeah, this is your sewer. Well, one thing I started doing whenever I ran a camera, I always took the end of the camera and showed them my van, their house, anything that they were going to recognize. Even if I was on a roof, I'd make sure to shoot my camera out at the van in the front and say, see, this is my vehicle. Just want to let you know this really is your sewer line. So anyway, that's a big one. Number two, this water heater can't be fixed. Pretty much, if a water heater is not ruptured, meaning the shell of the water heater itself is not damaged to where it's leaking, most things in a water heater can be fixed. But that doesn't mean you should fix every water heater. Once your water heater has outlived its warranty, it's a great time to think about investing in a new water heater. And I used to have a great formula where I would go through and look at it with the homeowner and say, look, your water heater is this old. Here's how much it's going to cost you to fix it today. Instead of spending this money on an old water heater that's outlived its warranty and really should be replaced now, wouldn't you rather invest that money in a new water heater? So think about it. Once your water heater is beyond the life of its warranty, it's time to look at it and start thinking, how would I rather spend my money? Now, it's up to you. You may say, look, I can afford a $300 repair right now where I can't afford a $3,000 water heater. So look at it, think about it, and you make that decision. Number three, licenses are not required. Oh, God, I hate hearing this one. Here's the thing. At least in the state of Texas, you have to have a plumbing license to go out and do a plumbing job. Even the apprentices have to be registered with the state. Now, licenses are required, but I know every homeowner now thinks he's a licensed plumber. Well, that's not true. Contact the Texas State Board of Plumbing Examiners. You can literally go to their site, search the company. You can search the individual. So if somebody comes out and tells you they are a plumber and they give you their name or their card, go to the Texas State Board website, look it up, see if they really are licensed. If not, I'd hire another plumbing company. Number four, I can give you an estimate without ever looking at the job. Can a doctor tell you what's wrong with you without looking at your body? Probably not. That's why we have to go to the doctor's office. Now, I understand telemed. That's easy. Hey, doc, look, I've got a fever. I'm coughing up green stuff. Okay, you probably need antibiotics. I get that. There's a lot of things that a plumber can diagnose over the phone, say, look, here's probably what the problem is, but we need to come out and look at it. We need to come out and test it. We need to come out and do diagnostics. We need to verify it. I can tell you how much it is to change a water heater in the most pristine conditions. But when I get out to your house and it's in the attic and it's behind 3 air conditioning systems, and I'm going to have to lift the water heater up and cantilever it over there or slingshot it or whatever I've got to do to get it there, I can't give you that price over the phone. Number 5, I can do this job much cheaper. Now, there is a difference in what we pay our plumbers. I completely get that. And there's a difference to how much value we bring when we do jobs for people. So people that just come in and say, I can do this job much cheaper, well, what is it they're giving up? Now, I made a video a long time ago saying, look, I'm not the cheapest plumber in town. And that video actually got me a ton of work because people are like, look, Roger, once I watched your video, I realized I did not want the cheapest plumber in town. I wanted the best. It costs a little bit more for the best. The best normally have a lot more value added into everything that they do. Number 6, you need to pay for everything up front. Man, I hate seeing this because this is normally your scam plumbers. This is normally the ones that are going to walk off and not do the job, or they're just going to come in and put a Band-Aid on it and say, hey, I got your money. We're good. I'm not worried about it. The only time we charged anything up front is if we had to tunnel or we had a major investment. I would want to make sure that either my labor's covered or my materials are covered. That way I'm not just completely out on everything. I have had some home investors literally screw me out of $10,000. And as soon as the work was done, I'm like, yeah, sorry, we're not going to pay you. Do whatever you got to do. Now, back then, I wasn't charging up front. Now, I know better. So what I'll do is say, look, I need you, here's how much the materials are, here's how much the labor is. I need you to give me 50% up front, 25% upon completion of work, and then 25% once the permits and everything are finished. So there's different ways to do it. And really, this is just plumbers trying to make sure they don't go out of business. But you never pay for everything up front. Number 7, this is a 3-man job. Unless it's a new project, a new construction project, or a big commercial job, normally 2 men can handle just about anything. I think one of the biggest things are tunnels up under a house where you're doing the work there. We bring in dig crews. We don't do that ourselves. But even a water heater in the attic, about the only time that it would be a 3-man job is if you've got a heavy water heater up in the attic that you need to get out safely. There's no way to get in there with a lift or a pulley or something like that. At that point, I may want 2 guys on the ground to make sure we don't drop the water heater on your floor. But normally, 1 in the attic, 1 on the ground, you can get anything out. Number 8, this will work just as good. That's not always true. If you know of a brand that you want, or you want something done a certain way, there's nothing wrong with talking to a plumber about that. Now, don't get me wrong. If you want it done an incorrect way, I'm not going to do it. I've got a license and I'm a professional and I know how things are supposed to be done. So for me to come in and look at you, if you know you want something done a certain way, and I'm like, hey, look, this will work just as good as that. You'll never know the difference. Well, normally you will know the difference. So anyway, think about that. Number 9, permits are not required. This is one I don't understand. Now, it doesn't take a permit to do certain things. I get that. But if you're not sure, call the city that you live in and say, look, I've just called a plumber. They're coming out. They're giving me pricing to do this. I need to know, is a permit required? Permits are not required for, rebuilding a toilet or something like that, changing out a garbage disposal. But there's certain things that permits are required for. If they're running a new water line in your yard, a new gas line, anytime you're working on the gas, permits and inspections are not just required, they're there for your safety. So make sure the plumbing company that you're hiring is doing things right. Number 10, and this is my biggest one, this sewer camera can find leaks. In a way, that's true. If I run a sewer camera down your line and I see roots coming in, guess what? There's a leak. But here's the deal. Sewer cameras do not prove a house does not have a leak. And that is the better way to look at it. I used to specialize in slab leaks and leak detection. We used to do sewer water tests for real estate agents that are helping buyers buy homes. The reason this is such a big deal is if you buy a house that has a leak under it, once you buy that house, that's your responsibility. It's your problem. Here's the thing. If you're a buyer and you are buying a house and you do a sewer water test and find out there's a leak under that house, here's where this helps you in 2 ways. Number 1, the current homeowner probably has insurance and should be able to get this repair done, or if it has caused any problems inside the house due to water damage. Number 2, it's their problem. You understand that, right? They have this problem. Now, anybody else looking at this house has to be told that there's a leak under it. Now, me as a plumber, I always took care of the people that hired me to test these houses, because a lot of real estate agents, if there's a leak under it, they don't want you to tell them. A lot of home sellers, if there's a leak under there, they don't want you to tell them. So I would send them each an email with my findings and say, I have proven that there is a leak under your house. And it wasn't done with a sewer camera. We actually put test balls in, did a water test like it's supposed to be done. We did not do a hydrostatic test where we apply any external pressure. That is really not the right verbiage. Now, guys, these are 10 things that plumbers will tell you to try to make more money off of you. And these are normally shady plumbers, scammy plumbers, ratty type plumbers. So if you're being told this, you may want to ask them to leave and call another plumber and see what they tell you. If you've ever been told these lies or any more, I would love for you to comment down below and let me know what you think, because I've heard these, but I've heard a lot more. If you like this video and you've already subscribed, hit the notification button so you get notified every time we come out with a new video. Thank you. And if you love this video, I definitely think you're going to like this one.